Guys, I'm coming at you again for another video. This time it's for the fourth Godsmack record that I just got done listening to. Yes, this is my first time, so I'm gonna give it the best review I can give it. It's their fourth album called IV, which is known as 4. And I'm gonna go through track by track and let you know what I thought of it. Now, this is the next album after Faceless, so to start it off, we'll start with track 1, which is Livin' in Sin. This was a really good song. The introduction was pretty cool, bringing into the rock version and all that. And then the verses were good, the chorus was great. It's an outstanding track. It gets a 5 out of 5. I loved it. Track number 2, which is a single taken from the record, and a music video called Speak. Very good track. I love this song. It's getting a 5 out of 5 as well. The verses are killer. The chorus is great. It's a good song to jam out to. So, yeah, it's getting a 5 out of 5. Track number 3, The Enemy. This track was pretty decent. Well, it was another good track. So they did a really good job on the heavy side of it. So I'm giving this one a 5 out of 5 too. Because the vocals that Sully's doing are pretty good. The guitars and drums are going at it as well. And it's a pretty good track. So I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. Track number 4, Shine Down. Now this is just my first one, but I do like this song. I'm gonna give this a 4.5 out of 5 because there are things in it that made it feel a little off, but it still does a good job. So may have a few slight changes with it, but in the song, but nothing too bad. So it's getting a 4.5 out of 5. Track number 5, Hollow. This was a mellow track. And it features Lisa Gordo or something. I don't know, but the point is, this track was pretty good too. I liked it. I'll give it a 5 out of 5 because it did good on the mellow side. It's surprising that I see them do a mellow track, but it works. So it gets a 5 out of 5. Track number 6, No Rest for the Wicked. This song's good too. I'll get a 4.5 out of 5 because there are points where it gets okay and then it ranges from pretty good to good. There are some things in the song that made it feel a little not like the Godsmack I used to like. I was like, this is a different sound they're going with, but it's not terrible. So it's a great song. It's just there are certain things in the song that made it feel a little off to me. But in retrospect, I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5. It's a decent song. It's pretty good. Track 7, Bleeding Me. Some verses in it were okay. Chorus was good. This will get a 4.5 out of 5 as well. There are things in it that made it feel a little weird, but made it feel like it was not the Godsmack I was enjoying for the previous 3 albums, but this is just a different experimental album. I wouldn't say it's experimental, it's just they went a little too soft rock in certain points in this album. Like hard rock, but made it feel a little uninteresting. not the songs, just it's Godsmack doesn't disappoint. It's just let me just frickin' continue. This Bleeding Me's getting a 4.5 out of 5. Track number 8, Voodoo 2. It's okay. It's not a perfect song, but I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. It could have done better, but it was in between okay and kind of a letdown. Doesn't mean that the track was terrible, it's just there were things in it that made it feel off. And it just kind of disappointed me a little. But I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. Temptation. Now, thank God that they went back to a harder rock, a heavy metal hard rock song, because it felt like most of this album was going a little too soft. And that was kind of a little bit of a problem with me. And I was like, ugh. But it doesn't mean that they were terrible songs, it's just a little off track of what they're used to. But I'll go into detail after the last few tracks I review. Temptation was very good. I'll give it a 5 out of 5. It surprised me that they went back to the heavy metal sound we're used to them. So it's a great track. It's getting a 5 out of 5. I like the verses, I like the flow of the song. It didn't disappoint. Track 10, Mama. Somewhat slow-paced a little, but still hard rock. It gets a 5 out of 5 as well because the lyrics in it are great, the chorus is great, the verse is great, the guitars and drums are good in it. It makes it an enjoyable song. So it's a 5 out of 5. Track number 11, One Rainy Day. This is like a 7-minute song. This was like freaking long. But it's very good too. It's a mellow, slow-paced song, but it's pretty cool. And it gets a 5 out of 5 as well. So this one did very good. Even though it's not what we're used to, it's a great Godsmack song, so I'll give it a 5 out of 5. It deserves it. It didn't let me down. Track 12, this is the final track, but it's like a bonus track. It's like included to the One Rainy Day, but I guess in the CD version, I don't think you get that song when you hear the CD. But Safe and Sound was pretty good. I did like it. It's a killer track. It gets a 5 out of 5 as well. The verses and the chorus are great, and it's a good jamming song. And that is going to be it for this album review. Now, this album was a little weak, but it wasn't a terrible record. It's just, it was a little bit weak. I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10 because certain songs made it feel a little disappointing. It just made it feel very off. But it doesn't mean that they were terrible songs. It's just they weren't good enough to impress me. And it's a shame, but it's still a good album. I guess it's worth the buy if you really want to listen to it. They're not terrible songs. They're just, you're not gonna get used to it the first time around when you hear it. I just heard it once. It may take time for me to get it sunk in, for it to sink in and grow on me, but they're still good tracks. But I do like their heavier albums, because that's where they bring a lot more interesting songs and better songs. So that is going to do it for this review. I think I'll be hitting you back up tonight for the Truth or Dare movie review. I'm going to see if I can watch the movie first. So thanks for watching this review. If you have any comments on the 4 album, let me know. I'll see you in the next video.